we've got our first leg built. Let's build the second one. To do that, I'm going to hit home just to kind of see where we are. I'm going to build the second leg off to the right hand side over here. So I'm going to rotate around so I can see the outside. Whoa, let me go back to home. I got kind of lost there. I'm going to rotate around so I can see the outside of it, which is this side. And I'm going to do what's called a construction plane. And I'm going to choose an offset plane here. I'm going to click on offset plane. I'm going to click on this outside face. That's the outside of my leg. And I'm going to offset it to the middle because we're going to use what's called a mirroring tool. So we need to know where the middle of the board is going to be. So to do this, I'm going to just notice the direction it wants to go is this way. So I know if I want to go the other way, I've got to use negative. So I'm going to say I want to go negative, and the width of the whole board is negative 29.5 centimeters. But I only want half because I want to go half to that. I want to go halfway there. So I'm going to go divided by 2. So a slash and a 2 is divided by 2. That's the halfway point in the board, and I'm just going to click OK. By creating that plane, we have this really cool thing we can do. Before we do that, actually, let's name some stuff. So go to your bodies folder over here, open it. You should have a body 1, and we're going to call that the left side. If you double click on it, you can get in there to rename it. You can type in what you want and then press enter, and that's left side. Under the construction, we're going to look at plane 1, and we're going to call this the width mid. It's the middle of the width of the board. And we're going to click OK. We can use this plane later on, so we're going to name it so we know which one it is. All right, so far that was just cleaning up some stuff. Taking the time to name things is super helpful when you make a complex build like this. So to make the second leg, watch how easy this is. We're going to simply come up here to the create, and sorry, maybe we're going to do modify. Sorry, create. There it is. And the mirror tool. So we're going to click on the mirror tool. The thing that we're going to mirror isn't a face. That's just like a flat edge of it. We want the whole body to mirror it. And then we're going to select our objects. Well, we want to mirror this object. And the mirror plane is going to be this construction plane we just created, which is halfway through our body. And it shows us, hey, that's where it's going to be over here. And we're going to click OK. And now just to make sure that they're the right distance apart, we're going to click on a front view here. And we're going to do a measurement. And we're going to measure from this edge right here all the way to this outside face, and that should be 29.5. That's why we put the plane in the middle, 29.5 divided by 2. We have now the full length close. If this is bigger than that, get me. I can help you figure out why. It needs to be at under 30 for sure. The board is only 30 wide. We can't cut anything wider. Okay. So I'm going to hit back to the home view, and now I have my 2 legs built. This construction plane is distracting, so I'm going to come over here to my construction folder, hit the eyeball on the width mid, and it will hide it from me now. Awesome. Next thing I need to do is build these side pieces for the board. So to do that, I'm going to click a sketch, and I'm going to draw the sketch on this end little rectangle right here. Click there. And I want to draw the face from this corner down to this corner, but this thing isn't actually on my drawing. So what I'm going to do is use P for project. I'm going to come over here to this bottom corner and just project this dot where it is onto my sketch. Or like I did, the whole rectangle is okay as well. Although it's better to grab one square if you can. If not, no big deal. Click OK. And now I've got this on here as well. So now I'm going to take a rectangle tool. I'm just going to sketch a rectangle all the way down to this corner and click. And now I want to extrude this. So I just tipped it up a little bit so I can see what's going on. I'm going to E for extrude. I'm going to click here, but I also want this little rectangle here. Make sure you get the whole distance across. If you projected the entire rectangle, you have to click here as well. You should have all of this in blue. And I'm going to push it in this direction. I want the wall to go into the board, and I want to go in there 3 thicknesses. So notice it's a negative direction because it assumed I wanted to come out. I don't want to go in. So negative TH, enter. That's 1 thickness deep. And I want to do times 3. And right now it's assuming that I want to cut because I'm going into an object, but I don't want to cut. I want to create a new body. So down here at the bottom where it says cut, I'm going to change that to say new body. And I'm going to click OK. And now notice how there's these weird lines in there. That's because these two bodies are impossibly overlapping each other. You couldn't make this in reality. The next thing we want to do is we want to cut in some joints into this piece. And this part will be a little bit complicated. I'll show you how to do it. First thing I want to do is come over here and let's start naming some stuff. So left side 1 was the thing we just created. We should have probably double clicked on it earlier and changed it. Left side, make it right side. I'm going to delete that one. Hit enter to save that. Body 3, we're going to call this the front. Enter. And that's this one here. So now I'm going to hide the left side and the right side. I just have the front. And I'm going to build some details in here to join, to create a joint there for the wood to stick into. So to do that, I'm going to create a sketch on this end little rectangle here, on the very end of it. And I'm going to take, I'm going to draw a rectangle here. Now remember, this is 3 layers thick. So this top needs to be, instead of 0.2 or whatever it came up as, thickness. So TH, enter. And then this can be, we want it to be about 1/3 of a 5. So let's do 1.25. Whoops, sorry, that was the wrong one. So TH for thickness, enter, that enters it there. Hit tab to go to the next one, and then 1.25. And then I'm going to hit enter there. And then I'm going to do another one down here, this corner, same thing, thickness there. And then tab 1.25 here, and then maybe one more in the middle, and we'll just kind of see how they're lining up. So again, this should be thickness across the top, and tab 1.25, why not? Let's see how it looks. Now I actually want this rectangle to be in the middle of the line, so I'm going to use the midpoint tool. I'm going to click on this leg of the rectangle and this side right here, and that will line them up really well. Now it's right in the middle. I'm not liking how small this gap is. This is going to end up being a joint where the wood is right here. So what I'm going to do is let's switch these. So I'm going to escape to leave the midpoint tool. I'm going to double click on this, and let's make this like 0.75 instead, and make this 0.75 as well. We're just making up numbers to make it look kind of balanced. What I want is this distance between the squares to be roughly equal to the squares, or the rectangles I should say. And that looks pretty good to me. All right, so these are going to be like where the rectangles are, like fingers poking out, that are going to be joints in the other side. And then I want to do one of those over on this side as well. Or maybe I'll do 2, do one here and one there. Let's try that. So I'm going to go here. This is also thickness. And then let's do it as, I don't know, 1. So tab 1, enter. And let's make one more rectangle down here somewhere. And I'm going to do the top as thickness. And actually, I'm not going to set the length right now. So I'm just going to hit enter and let it be whatever it is. And this one where it says 1.0, I'm actually going to delete that. Give that a shot. I'm going to use the Collinear Tool. That means take 2 lines that aren't lined up with each other and line them up with each other. And I'm going to make this blue part here collinear with the bottom of this one. So now they just line themselves up. And I'm going to do the same thing right here. And then this line, the bottom of this one, and this line, the bottom of this one. Okay, so now we've got all of this confusing stuff happening. Let me show you the magic of this. So we're gonna extrude this. We're gonna extrude this piece, and we're gonna cut it back in. Now remember our side piece, so our right side piece here is 3 layers thick. So let me hide that right side again. We're gonna extrude this back 3 layers. So negative, because I wanna go in the opposite direction, thickness, enter, times 3. And click OK. So right there I've built in the joints. Now this won't be very good because these will be popping out. They won't look very nice. So what we're going to do instead is just modify some stuff really quickly. First thing we're going to do is let's see if press pull will work. So press pull allows you to change an extrusion you've already made. So I'm going to click here and do a press pull of this face and this face, and I'm going to push them back. So I'm going to say negative thickness, enter, times 2. So I'm going to push them back 2 layers of plywood. I'm going to hit enter, and then I think that's good. I think that'll look pretty cool. I'll like having, because this end of the plywood will come out here and be like a black edge. I think I'm going to live with that. See how it works out. All right, so that is this edge all done. We need to do the same thing on the other edge. So one thing we can do is we can try to do another mirror. And to do that, we need to create a construction plane. So I'm going to say, let's create a construction plane right in the middle of this board. So construction, I'm going to say, I want, instead of an offset plane, oh no, we already have that plane. Sorry, that's our mid plane. Let's turn it on. There's our middle one right there. And now what I want to do is, I'm going to try, I'm going to mirror features here and see if this will work. I'm not 100% sure it will. I'm trying something new here. So the features that I want to mirror are that right there. And let's do the mirror plane and just see what it does. It looks like it's going to do a good cut. And we'll see where we are. Let's click OK. And it did a pretty good job. Notice though that it didn't shrink these down with a press pull, but it did cut all the other ones, which is pretty darn handy. So I'm going to hide the mid width plane, and I'm going to just grab the press pull. I'm going to click on this one, this face, and this face. Notice I was trying to grab it a line sometimes. I want the whole face. And then I'm just going to go negative, so I'm going to go the opposite direction the arrow's pointing. Thickness, enter. I'm going to say times 2 for 2 thicknesses, and I'm going to hit enter. And now I've got 2 faces that are really perfectly symmetric. Awesome. Now I'm going to turn the left and right side on, and I'm going to rotate back to home so we can see what's going on. I've made this front face. I need to make this back face. Now you might be thinking, oh, I don't want to make that all over again, but it's nice. Those 2 faces are identical. We're just going to mirror them. But before we can mirror them, we've got to create a plane at halfway through this direction, halfway through the length. So sort of a length mid. Maybe I should just call that mid width. That'd make more sense. But who cares? I'm going to turn the front side off, and I'm going to create a mid plane right between this little face at that end, and rotate around and grab this face at that end. Now I come back to home. Okay, so that's right in the middle of my board. That's where I want it. I'm going to click OK. I'm going to name plane to mid-length. Okay. And now I'm just going to turn that body back on, which is the front. And I'm going to say, hey, let's do a create. Let's do a mirror. Let's mirror not a feature, but let's mirror the whole body. Click on the body you want to mirror, which is this front one. Click down here on mirror plane, select the mid mirror. It'll show you where it's going to put it, and then you're going to click new body, and you're going to click OK. And now you've got a front one. Let's go ahead and double click on that one and name this one back. Enter, and everything is good. So all of a sudden we have the main parts of the board ready to rock and roll. I'm going to hide my mid plane knowing that it's still here if I need it later. I'm going to return to home, and that's where we're stopping for this video. Great job, keep it up.